Oh, sorry for that. I'm just really excited to let you know that ActionVFX are currently running a mind-blowing summer savings event running from right now until the 23rd of June, where you can get 50% off all of the individual elements and collections. I still remember they actually started as a Kickstarter project not too long ago and have since then completely blown up to become one of, if not the best place to get high quality action stock footage for your next project anywhere. There's a link below the video that will take you straight to the sale, and yes, that will give me a little bit of a kickback, so you'll be supporting me along the way, which I always really appreciate. Also, if you do end up missing the sale, you can still use the same link and my custom coupon code Surfaced Studio in one word to get 10% off the final price at any other time of the year. On the ActionVFX website, you can purchase individual elements, entire collections, or you can sign up for the ActionVFX subscription, which gives you a set number of downloads every month, but with a huge discount compared to purchasing those elements individually. And yes, you'll absolutely be able to use all of your downloaded assets even after your subscription has expired. If you do need another reason to check them out, you'll also be able to download a whole bunch of free action stock footage and sound effects that you can just use for whatever you want. And during the sale week, you'll also be able to download some high quality screen replacement tracking markers for free. You can use these tracking markers to display them on any screens while you're shooting your scene, and then you can easily track them and replace them in post-production. And I've got a bunch of tutorials for that on my channel. I'm going to again link you everything down below. Besides the screen replacement tracking markers, there's 6 new huge collections being launched over the coming days, starting with these massive scale nuclear explosion, and there's constantly new products being released. They create behind the scenes information for visual effects and post-production. There's tutorials online, so it's absolutely worth checking out. And if you do like behind the scenes stuff, here's a quick VFX breakdown and explanation of the opening shot to this video. Now, I ended up creating the base sequence for the intro to this video in Unreal Engine. I was actually playing around with Blender initially to try to see how cinematic I could make that look, but I was struggling a little bit. And I also tried just, 2D compositing an explosion in After Effects directly. But again, it just didn't feel quite epic enough, so I ended up using Unreal Engine. And Unreal Engine is amazing. You can just download some of these mega scans, which are massive photo scanned environment templates that you can just download and use in your project. You can also import plants, vegetations, and what I've done, trees here, and just paint them over the landscape in the foliage mode that is available in Unreal Engine. You then create a sequence that has a camera actor, and that's essentially a virtual camera that you can animate and move around to essentially create an animated camera shot. Now, at the time of filming this video, the nuclear explosions weren't actually available yet, so I used one of the large-scale gas explosions from ActionVFX instead. But don't stress, everything was exactly the same. It's just that I swapped this one out for the actual nuclear explosion at the very end, just before I uploaded this video. I then placed a simple plane in the middle of the scene and assigned that animated nuke explosion as an animated video texture to that plane. So I had that explosion placed in the middle of my scene. Now I needed to tweak the material a little bit to make it transparent where there was alpha in the stock footage and make it glow a little bit, just make it sit a little bit better in the shot. I also added some additional light sources to make that explosion really nice and bright and cast shadows out from the trees. And finally, I added a little bit of glow, a little bit of lens flare, and a little bit of depth of field to make it look a little bit more cinematic. I then rendered everything out into a multi-layer EXR file and took that into Adobe After Effects for compositing. In Adobe After Effects, I then ended up tweaking that footage a little bit, brightening it up a little bit, adding a little bit more color, a little bit more glow to make that explosion stand out a little bit more, added a new lens flare on top as well. I also used one of these large dust wave elements from ActionVFX, placed that in the scene to just give a bit of a dust wave echoing out from where that explosion was happening. I used the depth pass rendered out from Unreal Engine that essentially represents the distance of objects from the camera to composite that dust wave in the shot, so it would hide behind the rocks that are in the foreground and not kind of just lie over everything, and it didn't require any manual masking. Once I was happy with the actual explosion effect, I then added the transition into the brainy network, as well as coming out of mine. That's just different layers of video footage glued together, a few track mats to create some of these transition effects and animated layers. Now, it's not going to win me any awards, but I was actually pretty happy with the effect in the end, given the amount of time I had to put it all together. And that's all there is to it. Go and check out the sale. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, just leave them down below. And with that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I will see you later.